Namaste, guys. Okay, I've been trying to get here in this position all day and all night for several days and nights. So I just want to do it. The reason why I'm standing is because I'm having some pains, and I don't know why, but as you saw the title of this, I'm going to attempt to do my reading for the Gilgo. I just want to do some cards that I created, and yeah, so let's get started, okay? Okay. I get a little bit of... One second. I'm never ready. I am never friggin' ready. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Trying to change my angle of where I'm at, where I'm sitting at, and I'm down here now. Down here now. Okay. Just when I don't want to use my, when I set up my rig, what happens is it's a stand, and yeah, makes me look a little bit thinner, but I don't feel like always using the stand. So, and this is my new phone, not new phone, but the newer phone. Yeah, maybe I could put a couple of crystals over my left hand lower region hurts, and I didn't go back on soda, so I don't know why. Kind of hurts. God knows I don't have an ovary there. Doctors couldn't find my ovaries, but anyway, I'm sure it's just my IBS as usual. And my vitamins still have not come. They friggin' told me that my vitamins would be coming. It's so annoying because I have not had them in so long now. Just the green ones. I really need to have the fruits. That's probably why I've been feeling so low energy. And we've been having heat wave, extra heat wave. Heat wave in Texas doesn't mean 100. I'm doing dragon's blood. Yeah. Feel it necessary. But a heat wave in Texas is usually over 103, 104. Supposedly it's going to go to 107 tomorrow. And I made a big mistake today. I let the dogs out, and my stepson was called into work, so he was like yelling and complaining about having to go to work a little bit earlier than he thought, because he's the manager. Anyhow, Oh, that's a nice burn. That's a nice burn. So that's pretty. I used to always use this. This is from New York. A little shop that doesn't exist anymore. Everything's closed down. It's so sad. Anyway, I left the dogs out for, I think it might have been an hour. They did not bark. They were just sitting by the window. They probably didn't have enough energy. I felt so terrible because it's so hot out. I cried and I was like, what should we do? What should we do? Devin was like, oh, you don't have to put the towel on them. Like, the puppy, will fool around, like push it away. But Casper, he goes crazy when you try to, like, I always have a towel to dry him off from rainstorms or snowstorms. Not really snowstorms, but rainstorms. And he goes freaking nuts. He tries to bite the towel, rip the towel. So I was just trying to do the towel on him, and he was nuts. He went nuts. So then I took ice cubes and water, and I tried to pat his head because his whole body was so hot. I felt terrible. I felt like, did I kill my dogs? Almost killed my dogs. And Devin said, no, they'll be okay. I mean, the little guy seemed much better. Like, he got better really quick. So I gave him ice cubes. I did put the towel on. Then finally, Casper sat on the towel. Like, he was on my couch and he sat on the towel. So that cooled him off maybe. But I just kept on giving them ice cubes. Casper wouldn't eat them, but the puppy did. He goes in the water and fishes them out and chews on them. Leaves them all over the house, but that's okay as long as he's getting a little bit. And then finally Casper drank some water. We had 3 bowls out. I put a bowl in here, a bowl in their room, and then another bowl. And they drank from all of them. So angels were watching over them. So the rest of the day, I went out with them every single time that they had to go use the bathroom. I went out with them, and they couldn't even really, they ran a little bit, but it was just too hot. It was like sickening hot. So, all right, so I'm sorry about that big to-do, but I do my things in a relaxed way. Okay, I want to keep it chill because it scares me, and the man is in jail, so I know everybody is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I know all that. I do know that. This is going to be based on my opinion. My opinions, and allegedly, for entertainment reasons only. Isn't that pretty, that ring? That's amber. It's for depression, sadness, anxiety. Okay, anyhow. So I want to know, angels and spirit guides, please let us know what we need to know with the Gilgo murders, with Rex Corman. Okay, I didn't know that was still on. Apparently. It's my iPad next to me. Anyhow, angels and spirit guides, please let us know what is going on. Did Rex Corman kill all those people? Did he kill the ones that were found in Gilgo Beach? Did he kill the ones that were found in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Did he kill the ones that were found in Las Vegas and South Carolina? What messages do we need to know? Thank you. Okay. Yeah, it actually feels better. I put selenite stick next to in the crux of my abdomen. This room. Hope everybody's doing nicely on a Saturday night. So basically, I'm going to read these cards that I made. They're basically just cards that I made when I was meditating on this case, and also based on facts, because, like, if you don't know me, what I do is I listen to everything. I research, I take notes, I take pages and pages of notes, and then I decide how I feel on things, whether I feel hot on this or that, okay? Now, basically, this man is in jail. If you're not sure of the case, do your research. He resides in Long Island, New York. These cases have been happening since 1996. And one of the most important cases that came up was Shanann Gilbert was missing, and her mother would not take no for an answer, and she pushed and she pushed and she tried to bring attention to it, and then they found that she had called the cops, and she was trying to get help, and she did not get help. Okay, she did not get help at all. So maybe they're trying to see, right now he's not being accused of her murder because she was found in the marshes, but they're saying that the bone in her throat was broken. There's a bone in your throat that if it was broken, most likely you were strangled. But some people feel she was definitely drugged, or maybe she was psychic. Maybe she was psychic and intuitive, and she knew that these other women have been murdered by, wrecks that was in that area. And what happened with her is if she did not run away and bring the attention, call the cops, and knock on all those doors, 3 or 4 different people's doors, maybe they wouldn't have found the other bodies. So Shanann Gilbert, in a way, was an angel to bring attention to all these people who were killed by Rex Horman. Okay. All right, allegedly. Okay, so the first card that I got when I was saying, did he do this? I got enjoy new beginnings, celebrate, socialize, and change. Just look at this. These are my, angel and ancestor cards. I barely use them. But look at that. I'm just going to take a look. There's a knight on a horse above 3 houses. Celebrate, socialize, change. So I don't go by what the book says. I go by what I feel from the card. And I had said, is he responsible? Is Rex Horman responsible for what happened to the girls in Gilgo Beach and the people who were killed there, especially the first 4, okay? And now they're finding more and more people, okay? So I'm going to say yes on this one, because it's like when people are starting to socialize, and then this person, this angel, or I would say archangel up in heaven, is watching over their homes to make sure they're safe. Like, in other words, there could have been more people that were almost got killed or murdered by him. But, the angels, the archangels, were watching over and making sure that people were talking to people and protecting each other. That's what I get from it. Okay? I'm sure that's not what it's in the book, but that's, me. I go by what's in here. So I'm going to take that as a yes for the Gilgo Beach, that he is responsible for the Gilgo Beach, which I already felt. And remember, I said 12 right away. When I first heard about this, I said I saw the number 12. Now that number 12 might go up to 26 or more. Devin was saying more than that. But already there's so many. There's so many more than 12. Okay. And apparently they've been researching him for a while. Remember who you are. So now I'm thinking about, was it Atlantic City? Culture, resilience, and beliefs. Yeah, where you come from. Okay, let me just get a feel on this. So let me show you. Remember who you are. I'm looking at this like shed in the back, and the bear is there, and like the trees, and I'm feeling like a workshop, like there's clues in a workshop or a shed. I know he had quite a few storage units, but this I feel like is outside, like when you go hunting to see the bear. All right, I know this could mean totally different. This is the card that I pulled for. Is he responsible for the deaths in Atlantic City? A lot of people are saying no. Okay, the ones that were, I think it was 3 or 4 women, and they were all escort workers, and they were in some sort of dugout ditch, water, where water comes in, and mud and mucky water, and they were all facing, no shoes on, and they were all facing east, I believe, all except for one, but they were close to each other. And a lot of people are saying no to that. I felt hot on that. I felt hot that he was there and he did that, allegedly. So what does this mean with the bear? I'm thinking that there's some sort of doesn't have to be bear hunting, like, because he was a duck hunter, right? There's some sort of shed, or there's some sort of like place that has evidence of those women in Atlantic City. It has something to do with his family or ancestors. Like, does he have family that moved or lived in New Jersey? Something to do with AC, because I keep on seeing AC, Atlantic City. Well, let's go to AC. And a lot of times he went there alone. If the cops can make that determination of when he went to Atlantic City, but he went alone, not with his family. kind of family link. So this card is look into the family, remembering the culture, and also the families and the people related to those victims in AC, in Atlantic City. Even if those women weren't originally from Atlantic City, we got to keep these, because this is so many years ago. There's so much time. A lot of people have died. A lot of people's parents have died that were the parents of these women and people that were killed. All right? But there's got to be some, somebody that takes up for them, that still, continues to friends, family members, and then also looking into his roots. Who's in Atlantic City that Rex Horman is related to? When exactly was he there? Can they match it up? I'm sure they have so much information. And then the last one was Vegas and South Carolina. Okay, I got go with the flow, let go, rest, manifest. And there's a beach. Okay, let me just figure out. Spirit, did Rex Horman ever kill anybody in Vegas and or South Carolina? Did they find anybody's bodies there that they can link up to him? I'm not feeling 100%. I'm feeling like there was hookups. There was situations where there were hookups. I'm not sure 100% if there was the murder there. But of course I could be wrong, because only God is 100%. I just feel like setting up something. There was something set up there. Or it was setting something up in both Vegas, by the beach. So like he's from Long Island, and Gilgo Beach was where the bodies, some of the bodies were put. But before that, before those bodies, because we're talking about from 1996 all the way to 2000 and I believe 9, those bodies, before he put the girls in burlap bags or sacks, right, which duck hunters use, and he was a duck hunter. Anyhow, before he did that, there was a whole bunch of dismembered parts of women and children, some children, and one man. Okay? So, would a serial killer change the way they do it? Yeah, I believe so. I feel like that answer is yes. That, maybe sometimes they dismember and scatter the parts in different places so that they're not found, and sometimes maybe they don't go that far, and he did the burlap bag and took their clothes and things like that. Okay, so I'm gonna stop with that. And I'm going to get into, because I don't want this to be incredibly long. I don't. They tell me don't make it incredibly long, so I won't. Okay, so now I'm just going to go through my cards. All right. So we have Long Island, then we have Atlantic City, strangulation, missing shoes. Yeah, those women that were facing east, they had no shoes on. And some people say, why face them east? And somebody said, like a detective or something that was on the case said, maybe, perhaps because he was trying to make himself like in the position as if they're looking up at him. But I don't really know that. I don't like to get into the mind of, I have, however, tried to channel, but I don't like to be in that space, especially at night, and it's nighttime, guys, but I couldn't seem to get it together during the day. But I don't like to get into the mind of the serial killer, in case I can't pull myself out. And, of course I'm prayed up and I'm protected and things like that. But so I'm just going to say what I've meditated on are on these cards, as well as the facts. Okay, so so duct tape. On the duct tape was really, really good for the police to figure out that it had hair from, I think one piece of hair was from him or was from a male, but it's been so long that they said they couldn't tell if it was whose hair it was, if it was his or not. But then some of the hair for some of the people that were murdered, some of the women that were murdered, had his wife's hair. Okay, so yeah, why is that? Okay, let's keep a question mark, because maybe he brought them home and murdered them in the house when his wife and kids were away, because that's when the murders used to happen. For some reason he was home a lot of the time. But anyhow, getting back to my cards, Long Island, and then Atlantic City, and then Vegas and South Carolina. But let's deal with Long Island and Atlantic City. Okay, face down, facing east, Atlantic City. Drainage ditch is where he put them in Atlantic City. In Long Island, they were like in the marshes at Gilgo Beach. That's why it's called the Gilgo Beach murders. 4 bodies in muck, strangled. Okay, Molly Ditz, Kim Raffo, Barbara Breeder, and Tracy Roberts. I want to give them their names. I want to put their names out there again. I want to show respect for the people who were murdered by this monster. Okay, allegedly, but they have been murdered. That's been proven. Okay, took their lives away, took their family member, people's family members away, took people's mother. Some of these people were mothers. Okay, they were sisters, they were aunts, they were young. Okay, young people on the precipice of their lives. Molly Ditz, Kim Raffo. That sounds so familiar to me. Kim Raffo. Okay, Barbara Breeder and Tracy Roberts. Okay, so Atlantic City, strangulation, missing shoes, duct tape on the hair, facing east, looking at him. Okay. And they were naked, too, as well. It's very disrespectful. Extremely. Of course, they were murdered, but then also to not have clothes on and put in muck and mud. Okay, so there was some sort of vault and there was like a lot of talk about the vault, okay, that was in his house. And then some media were downplaying it, some were upplaying it, dramatizing it. So basically they're saying that it was like a little room. You couldn't stay in it. You couldn't stay in it long. It was just to put stuff and take out. But it couldn't have housed the guns because there was so many guns. Okay. The house was in clutter, but then again, the wife and family, the daughter and the son, are saying that the police went in there and just wrecked the house, and they had like 4 cats or 3 dogs and 2 cats, something like that, and they took the kitty litter and just threw it all over the place. So that's what they're saying. They're saying that things were broken and wrecked, but the police that checked out the house said the house was fully cluttered, okay, with a lot of boxes. So, I know about boxes because if I showed you this room, there's a lot of boxes in this room and in my garage. So if people went to try to find stuff, they would have to open every single box, and it would be, terrible. You wouldn't be able to walk. So I'm just wondering, it's probably a little bit of both. Now, Chevy Avalanche was the car that Amber Costello went into, and her pimp, which he was acting like he was her boyfriend, he saw that, and he saw Rex Horman, and he gave the description to the police 1,000,000 years ago when this happened. Okay, why was he not found then? I mean, because there's police corruption, that's why. And he gave the description of the car. There's not that many Chevy Avalanches. He gave the description of what Rex looked like, and he described him as with like old-fashioned 70s glasses on and really big, like 6'6". Okay, so there was 5 hairs that were found in 2010. And the phones dated back to 2012. Wait, I don't think the phones dated. I'm not sure if the phones dated back to 2012, but he had burner phones. So, the burner phones and the Chevy Avalanche, even though he gave the Chevy Avalanche car to his brother, I think his brother's name is Craig, but I'm not sure. I'll have to look at my other card. He bought another one for himself, so it's an odd car. I don't know cars and trucks. I really don't. I mean, I know the difference between a Camaro and a Corvette, but I wouldn't know the difference. I didn't even know what this was. I had to look up pictures of it. But the police would know, like how many are in Long Island, if they went on it, if they went on that, but there was a corrupt person in the guy that was leading the case, right? Lead detective, I guess. He was taking women in escorts into his car. Excuse me. And I guess having sex with them, or having sex with them somewhere. And so that's why he didn't want this whole thing to get out, because he was involved in that way. And I'm sure he was married. He ended up going to jail. I thought it was only for like 24 months, but I think 4 years for corruption. But look, maybe some of these murders could have been prevented if they were dealt with back in, 2010, 2012. Maureen, that's the one they're trying to link him to. Okay, but I'm sure that he's definitely linked to her. I feel hot on that. Rodney Harris. Oh, he's the new police chief that's on the case. There's a whole new energy. There's a whole new that came in I think it was 2020 or 2022. So they've been watching him and gathering evidence, and that's when they got the pizza crust that he threw out and tested it, made a match. So good energy with Rodney Harris. Oh, maybe it's Harrison. I'm sorry. He has to clean up what the other police did on the case, what they effed up. I wrote that, what they effed up. So I'm sorry if I'm getting his name wrong on his last name. I'm pretty sure his last name is Harrison, maybe? But they said it real fast, so I try to take notes when I'm listening. Oh, my phone is going to go dead? That's not good. Okay, ground disturbances. They were in the backyard. When they were checking the backyard, I don't know, they didn't tell us everything that they found yet, or even anything that they found, but there was ground disturbances. So they had to dig up that whole backyard. And they spent a lot of time in the basement. So the grand jury that was, that the new police chief and team put on that cold case, which it went cold, the grand jury investigations since before March 2022. And that's how they got the gigabytes and the hair DNA. Okay. DA, a national database. Not sure what I meant by that, but that's probably what they had to go by in terms of the hair. It's very hard to match up the hair when it's been so many years, because it's, you know, it degrades. It does have some, if you get it by the follicle, you know, the root of it where it comes out of the head, then they can get so much more information. But this was just like, you know, strands of hair. Like, say I just pulled a couple pieces of my hair out and put it on a crime scene, right? It wasn't from the top, it wasn't from the root, so they would get different kinds of DNA, and then put a whole bunch of years on it, and then it's even harder. Okay, so then this is just Long Island, in case some people didn't know, Long Island serial killer, I.S.K. They decided to make the team called I.S.K, Long Island serial killer. That's in case people didn't know, because I didn't know at first. Why did it keep on saying I.S.K? Why don't they just say Long Island or Rex Huerman? But before they even knew about Rex, they called it the Long Island serial killer, because they were like, all these people getting killed. We don't know who's doing it. And at first, he did decapitate. So the evidence, there's a volume of evidence that, and the ground piercing, that's going to be important. They didn't tell us what they found or if they found anything. I was really surprised that they let the wife go back, the wife and her son and daughter go back in there. And she has not been, the wife has not been spoken to, or the daughter. Now, I don't agree with that. I think that if you're living with somebody and they end up being a murderer, I don't care if it's somebody's parents. I'm not saying you're blaming them, but why not? Why wouldn't you talk to them? Talk to them with a lawyer. She has a lawyer. Her lawyer, I don't care that she's getting divorced. Now that we're finding out, that she does talk to him on the phone, and his daughter talks to him on the phone, and so does the son. The reason why she didn't go to the court appearance is not because she's divorcing him and she's had it with him. She's not going because she knows that, everybody will ask her for her story and rush the scene and ask her questions. Okay, so that I talked this over with my sister Patricia, and she was like, "Oh, don't do it. Don't say anything about the wife." I'm not saying anything, saying she's guilty of anything, but okay, because her hair was found. Okay, I think you have to talk to her, and yeah, they said they cleared her because when the murders happened, she was not in the house. She was away, okay, when these murders took place. Okay, I understand that. But you still talk to her because she can have a whole trove of evidence. Not trove, she can have a whole treasure chest of evidence, just red flags that she saw, but she just put a blind eye to them. Maybe she was abused. Maybe there was, there's no evidence of her being abused. There's no evidence of her, the only thing they're saying is that she likes to collect comic books and go to those comic conventions, and that she has a comic book presence, which I thought that was interesting. That's okay. I'm Mystic Brady, that's my presence. But she has a comic book presence online. Okay, so, but I don't know what her name is or YouTube and stuff like that. So I thought that was interesting. Devin likes comic books. He has a whole bunch of them. He collects them and stuff like that. So I just thought it was interesting. Why haven't they spoken to her yet? Like, if she I think it's important. Okay, I'm just going to say that because it's getting late and I still have a lot of cards. So the wife filed for divorce. Unlike the Delphi killer's wife, she's still with him. He admitted what he did 5 times over. Okay, and she never got divorced. What I do want to say is, though, when you get divorced, you can testify against your spouse. Okay, if she remains married, they wouldn't be able to make her testify. So maybe when she is divorced and they figure out the money and stuff like that, she will start to talk. Okay, so the daughter is 26 and the son is, I don't know how old. And I think the son is from her previous marriage. Okay, the daughter also worked with Rex in his architecture company. Okay, so now is that all dead? Oh, sorry, wrong word. Is that dismantled? Because, I don't know of anybody who would want to give you business after finding that out. Okay, 1987, a lot. Educate the city. Okay, so he was interviewed. There's a YouTube video out there, and I mean, if you just type it in, his interview, he talks about how in 1987 was when he first came to, I guess, be an apprentice to another architect. And that's like when he started his career and working in Manhattan. And he's very pompous and very narcissistic sounding by he's going to educate the city. The city's waiting for him to educate the city. Okay. So, Ocean Parkway, That's just like the location of his house. Long Island. My grandmother lived in Long Island. Can't tell you where though. No empathy. He's still saying he didn't do it. He doesn't seem to have any empathy. And I was surprised, frankly, that his wife did not put out a statement. I know that her whole life has been changed, and her kids, she says, cry themselves to sleep at night. There's not anything to sleep on because she said the police ripped up everything. So I don't understand why an architect's wife, and an architect's family that have not had any work done on their house for a million years, and they don't have any money to stay anywhere else. They don't have a side house. They don't have a summer house. I mean, I don't either, but I'm certainly not an architect or an architect wife. So like, wasn't she wondering, like, other architects that are so wealthy and they fix up their houses and they create houses and buildings and things like that, wasn't she always wondering why is it that she had to use food stamps at the store? And why is it that they had such a small home and didn't like even refurbish it to make it nice, or buy a second home and at least have that? I just don't get why they have to live in that house after they find out their husband, their father, who is an architect, who has an architectural business, owns that business in Manhattan. It's big bucks to live in I know, I lived in New York my whole life till age 52, okay? 52 and a half, okay? So I know how expensive it is. And what I'm trying to say is that I can't fathom how they would not have these questions, seeing how everybody lives, in the area that they lived in is, a lot of summer homes, because people had other homes that they would go to, and then they would come there for the summers, because you don't really want to live there. You can live there during the winter, but a lot of people would go to Florida, for the winters, because winters are rough in New York. But so why would they have to go back to that house where you found out your husband was a murderer? So, okay, she did the right thing, got divorced, but she said it is what it is, and her lawyer was asked, why did she say it is what it is? And he was like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that statement, because he knows that that's not a good thing to say. All right, so I have questions. My mind works this way. Okay, why wouldn't she just say, of course, yeah, this is a horror show, this is terrible, I wouldn't wish it on anybody, my worst enemy, nobody, right? Okay, yeah, my kids are suffering. Our kids are adults, but they're still suffering. They don't live without her. One's disabled, special needs, the son, so he's always going to be with her. The 26-year-old that works for her father as an architect should be collecting money to have an apartment. No? Live on her own. No? Okay, all right. Some people live at home. My stepson lives here. Okay, but he works in Dollar Tree. All right. So anyhow, I just can't understand why, in what reality you would say, I'm going to go back to the house that was ransacked and they took the cats. What about the dogs? If you have cats and dogs, why wouldn't they give those animals back to you? That I heard the cats went to a shelter. I don't think they give them their animals back. And Also, isn't that a crime scene? You know the murderer lived there, allegedly. Okay, so you want to say he's in jail. The person who's in jail, okay, that's accused of these murders and maybe many more, lived in this house his whole life, okay? He bought the house, maybe he lived away from the house during his first marriage, and then his second marriage, he bought the house back from his mother. And where did his mother go? Some people said his mother died. No, I heard she's still alive, living somewhere else. Nobody asked her a statement. Anyhow, did he ever go visit his mother? I don't know. Maybe she is passed away. But I just can't understand, like, I couldn't go back there. Go back there to get a couple of things, that means something to you. But they're going back there to live. They're trying to live there. And I'm like, I can't get that. I fucking don't get that. Sorry, not sorry. So you were the family of an architect, and you have $0 to even stay in a B&B? I don't get that. And there's no family? You don't have not one family member? A cousin? I know that the wife has a sister, because years ago when they were looking into this, she said, we just try not to think about it. And she looked just like the wife. Red hair, blue eyes, okay? Short. She says, we just try not to think about it. Because they didn't know, who was doing the murders. Okay? Why can't she go there? Or maybe the family doesn't want to talk to them. There's always somebody in your family that will say, you know what, come live with us temporarily until you can get things sorted out. Not go back to that house that was ransacked, that you're going to constantly have cameras around. I don't get that. I know, go back, get some stuff, but then go somewhere else. You're working for an architect, so you have money that way. You're the wife of an architect. Where was the money? I guess he used the money for all the escorts. Okay. I'm not blaming anybody. It's questions. I have these questions. Anybody has any answers, ideas, please put it in the comments. We're just having a conversation, thinking about it. So this is another thing. There's a lot of people saying it wasn't a soundproof vault. It was a soundproof room. It wasn't a soundproof room. It was a soundproof vault. It was just a room with metal doors. Okay, so I don't know what it was. I guess we'll have to wait for the movie to come out. There will be a movie. Okay, so first there was 92 guns. There's 92 handgun permits that Rex had, right? So he had 92 handgun permits, so handguns, right? But then there was over 200 guns. He has an arsenal. Recently, I heard there was like 300 and something. So there's more than this. Okay? I'm not judging, but that's excessive, I think. All right, so South Carolina in 2014, Rock Hill cold case. Oh, so in Rock Hill, there was a cold case, and her name was Alea Bell. So they're looking into to see if he's related to that. Alea or Leah Bell. I'm not 100% sure, so I just thought I would write it down because when I was doing the research. Nevada and Las Vegas are two other places, and also Atlantic City, so let me just write that. I'm just going to write AC, New Jersey. That's a lot of places, allegedly. Okay. All right. This is the items that I saw. Let me just see what I don't know how much I have on it. I don't know what that is. Sorry. Okay. All right. Items that I saw physically in my third eye. A green, so this might have been found. A green, like a Kelly or a lime sweater or jacket, or it's a piece. Now it might just look like a piece of scarf, but I think it was like either at one time a sweater or a jacket, and it's Kelly green or a lime green. I described it in my other video. It's like one of those short, like under your chest. It was in style around 2007. Then also a zipper purse. It's like a makeup purse. And I took out my makeup purse to show you guys, but everybody knows what a makeup purse looks like, and it's slippery and it's shiny and it has like French stuff like Eiffel Tower, red lips, pink shoe. The zipper has info on it. What do I mean by that? Okay, the zipper has info on it, meaning in the zipper, maybe it's even like almost disappearing because it's been so many years, but in the zipper there's some kind of DNA. Okay, so I hope they check for it if they find these items. In the basement, I felt hot about the basement. I felt like even if he didn't murder anybody in the basement, because they were going with reports, there was at least one murder in the basement. Then they were saying, no, we don't have any evidence on that. Then the media would come back, yes, at least one person was murdered in the basement, or one woman was taken into the basement, like they had hits or something with the dogs. I don't know what they do. So that's up in the air. What I felt was, yeah, somebody was taken in that house, and they went down the basement. He went to show them stuff, okay? And he had weird things. He had like a life-size doll in a glass case with blonde hair and big red lips and a red dress. All those guns, and then he had a big picture painting of a battered woman that was blonde. Sick. Okay, so belts, hairs, painting of abused woman, life-size doll, film negatives, storage shed, had a shovel, rake, electric garden. Oh, this must have been all the things that they found. We still don't know. We still haven't been told anything else. Let's just check what happened to... Oh, that went out. Let me just put that on again. Never stays lit. August 1st. Next court appearance, that already passed. He looked like he lost about 15 pounds so far. Yeah, I'm crying for you. And no emotion. He wasn't crying. he wasn't like, he pled not guilty, and nobody came in for him. So, but now I did hear, like I said before, his wife has been communicating with him on the phone, and his daughter and his son. So, not for nothing, but if I heard that my husband even allegedly killed all these people, okay, and I had red flags that I was forced to look at, and I don't see any money from this architecture company. I don't see any improvements happening in my house. If I went ahead and said, that's it, I'm divorcing him, I wouldn't be calling him. Okay, but maybe she's calling him out of, like I said, maybe she has no idea what the finance is. Maybe he handled all the finances and she needs those codes. But anyhow, I don't think I would speak to him ever again. Yeah, so he did the court appearance. I did these cards before the court appearance, so 4 people, 4 pets lived in that home. So that I didn't know, and I was just talking about the cats, and I heard the cats were taken away. But they were given back. If they were given back, I don't know, like you don't see her walking her dog, I don't know. There's 4 pets in that house. Lived in that home. So that's a fact. 4 pets. So maybe 2 cats, 2 dogs. Maybe 1 cat, 3 dogs. I don't know. But I hope they did give them back to the mother and the son and the daughter. Okay? Mitochondrial DNA. That's what they found from the hair. That's called mitochondrial DNA. And then it was on the garments. And this is a whole big thing. I listen to a lot of stuff on it. When I do the research and I was walking, I would listen to what the heck is mitochondrial DNA. I mean, I remember studying it in biology a little bit, but that was back in high school and college. So I had to really listen to what that meant. Basically, it's what I talked about before. With if you get the hair at the follicle close to the head, you can get so much more. But if it's just, I rip out a piece of hair and put it under the microscope, it's going to be a little bit less. Green avalanche. New York environmental. I'm not sure what that is. Okay, so clients. So Rex Horman had many clients. He had JFK Airport. That's a big client. Catholic churches scares me to my soul. Catholic churches. In other words, he was involved with making rooms or doing plans, architectural designs for Catholic churches, JFK Airport, New York, all of in New York and Long Island, Atlantic City, South Carolina, and Vegas. Do you see anything tying in here? Okay. Everything is a key and a puzzle piece. So the wife said it is what it is. I didn't like that. I discussed that. But here's the card. And she's very recluse, but whole family seems like the whole family was recluse. And they've been living there for a million years. Long time, 26 years. All right. So all of the daughter's life and most of the son's life. That is not a logical response. Embarrassed, I never heard I'm so sorry for the victims. I heard I'm sorry for myself. I'm sorry for my kids. My kids haven't been able to sleep. I haven't been able to sleep. My kids are crying themselves to sleep. But I didn't hear I'm sorry if if this is true, which you kind of figure. You don't just get arrested. You don't just get clink clink for nothing, okay? Why wouldn't she say I'm so sorry to all of the victims? It's a sentence. That's why I get questions, you know? I keep it in my mind. And it bothers me. Okay? And it's like if somebody says don't say it, then I'm going to say it. You know, I'm thinking it, but I know other people are thinking it too. Okay? So police and FBI need to talk to her with a lawyer, but talk to her. Okay? She could be a huge help for the case. It is what it is. Okay, so Rex was born September 13th, 1963. So it's my total generation, my birth a week after me, all right? So his brother Craig was born in 1964, so he's a year younger than him. Then he also has two sisters, and just like I have my oldest sister is 12 years older than me. My brother is 11 years older than me. My sister Karen is 10 years older than me. My sister Christine is 5 years older than me. My sister Susan is 1 year older than me, 16 months. So we have we call, Brady Bunch. So 3 younger and the 3 older. All right. So he had Dolores, I think was named after his mother. She was born in 1951, right? So how many years is that? Let's see. Sorry, I should have did this before, but 51, 60, 63. So 12, exactly like my sister. So 12 years older, and then the one that's born in 59, she was 60, 61, 62, 60. She was 4 years older than him. So where is Phyllis and Dolores? Okay. I don't know if anybody talks to all of the family members, but couldn't the family members take in, his daughter and his son and his ex-wife? Okay. Anyhow, so he has 2 older siblings and 1 younger brother, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 people in the family, right? His father had a big job, but his father died when he was, I think, 10, 1973. So, I think about that. I think, had that affect the family? But, you can have people who are sociopaths and psychopaths, and they can have a beautiful childhood, okay? But they still end up being a psychopath and a killer. So the guns are 279 guns, and then he had a boat with 90 weapons. Oh, I forgot about this. He had a boat. All the weapons, I got up to 279, but I heard that's more. There's more than that. The last count. They had to count everything. They had to lay everything out, count it, and take it. The boat with 90 weapons. Some people think that maybe, perhaps, allegedly, when he was dumping off the bodies in the burlap sacks over by, Gilgo Beach in the mushy area, that he took a boat to drop them off there. I don't get that. I get that he pulled over and he took them out and drop them, or drag them and drop them. And it's pretty busy over there, but you know what? If you have a car and you have a flashlight, and you're used to being a duck hunter or whatever, you could do it. I just don't see him doing it on the boat, but maybe I could be wrong. I just didn't see the boat thing, the whole boat. I don't know if it was a blow-up boat or what it was. Okay, I'm almost done, and this is way too long. Okay, so Rex, between the ages of 12 and 18, a workshop, high school 1981, that's when I graduated too, from high school. He was a mama's boy, he was bullied, mother was controlling, victim with a mean streak, pushed around, he was the target. He was married. I don't know when he got married at first, but he got divorced from his first wife, Elizabeth Ryan, I think in 1993, and then he bought his mother's house for $170,000. His stepson was age 7 when that has special needs when he first got together. Then they had their daughter, and so then he's 7 years older than the daughter, so 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So he's 33 and she's 26. Okay, let me just write that down. Night. Okay, so they're 2 adults. Okay. And my phone is gonna die. The wife, not allowed to, has no money for food, but is married to a rich architect. Where is the empathy for the victims? I talked about that. Husband was searching child porn. It's a fact. Okay. The kid, we with the mother, lives with the mother, had to see something. Oh, the kids had to see something because they're not kids anymore, in other words. There had to be red flags, had to be signs. Okay. I don't want this to totally go dead while I'm talking, so I just want to say namaste. If anybody has any questions or thoughts, please put it in the comments. If you don't put anything in the comments, I don't know that you watched my video, okay? So even if you could just say something about this hour and 13-minute video. It wasn't just an hour and 13 minutes, it was loads and loads of research. But let me know if you have any questions, and I'll always try to answer them. Namaste, everybody. Love you.